This is Charlie giving you Friday's market commentary. I hope you're very well, feeling much better this week, back to normal. The time is 7:55 a.m. Looking at the markets at the moment, and not seeing too much just yet for today's live trading. I've only got until around about between 9:30 and 10, and then I'm heading off for a meeting down in London today. So I've got limited time to try and find a live trade for today's live trading. So we'll just have to see what happens. We haven't got any news out at 9:30, I don't think, in the UK. I'll just double check off screen here actually, but I did have a look earlier on, and I don't think there was much out this morning. So have a double check, and yeah, we'll have to see. And sometimes you just have to say, okay, there's not too much going on. But let's have a look at this hourly chart. And what I'm seeing at the moment is obviously the euro. This is an hourly chart. It's just sort of rolling over a little bit here this morning, but it's not that convincing. We have got negative momentum, but it's against what is obviously been a really nice upwards trend. So, and it's the same across the board really. If you look at the pound, very similar, just backing off a little bit after yesterday's highs. So across the board, really, they're just rolling a little bit, but nothing that convincing at this stage, at least, anyway. And you have to be careful when you're going against the trend, because obviously at any stage the market could then want to bounce back up again. So I'm just going to have to wait until we get a decent some clarity. And it's a shame we haven't got any news out this morning, because that may just have got the markets moving enough for me to find a trade. So at the moment, I'm not finding any swings or anything like that just yet, and certainly not on a day trading basis either. So we'll just patiently wait. So what I'm looking to do is I do see the potential for some swings coming up, but not until next week. So for those of you that are interested in some swings, I think euro yen. Actually, this is an hourly chart again. Let's take this out to a 4-hourly time frame. I think that it's had this lovely creeping effect. The thing with it is that it's making only marginal new highs. Pulls back, marginal new high, pull back, marginal new high. So it's like a topping process, but I do think that we've got the potential for another marginal new high, and it's the same across the currencies really. But I think we're getting close, and the reason I'm saying that is I'm not just looking at the chart. I'm looking at the momentum, and I'm looking at the way the momentum patterns work, and I do see the potential that we could maybe run up again, maybe later today. I'm going to miss a lot of the price action today because of being out, but potential that could happen, and then we start to roll over early next week. Now that doesn't have to happen. We could just roll over. We've had a fantastic run. I'd love to see these markets come back and test their 4-hour 50 MAs, the white line down here. That's what I'd like to see. But at the moment, just got to wait patiently. It's the same across the board. Same with the pound as well, 4-hour 50 MA. Same with the euro, 4-hour 50 MA as well. So since breaking out of the 4-hour 50, they haven't been back to test them yet. So, but it's a case of having patience and getting in at the right time, and not trying to short the market too soon. Now, obviously, the market at the moment, the trend is up. So I need to see these trends roll and weaken a bit more before I'm interested in shorting. So at the moment, we're in no man's land, and it's making it difficult for me to find trades. But you never know. I'm doing a recording here at, like I said, just before 8 o'clock, and anything could happen by then. So I'll be pressing pause in one moment, and then we'll come back to it once. Hopefully, we see some price action coming in this morning, and we'll see how it goes. Just one reminder with the new product, we will be putting the price up of that on Monday. And we've had another couple of nice testimonials come through, and Sam's going to be sending an email about that later on today, I think. So if you were holding fire, then you've got until Monday basically now, or basically over the weekend. Right, okay, I'll press pause for now, and we'll come back to it. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention was last week's trade, the trade I did on cable last week, if you remember. Take it back out to, and I'll probably need to put it onto an hourly chart to start off with. If you remember, I took that trade entry at 152 on the pound. If we can remember where it was, would be useful, wouldn't it? Oh, here it was, back here, 152.05, wasn't it? I took that trade, and I had to leave it because I had to get the video out to you and everything else, and I think I'd wait until late morning, and then it triggered that the second entry at 152.48, so we had a lovely run. So it was another 4-digit trade there on Friday. Shame I just couldn't keep the video going all day, but obviously that took well into the day to do that. And so, but it was another lovely trade, that one. So we've had some really nice trades on these Fridays. It's nice 4-digit trades in recent weeks. But that's what you do. You take the rough with the smooth when it comes to trading, and but it's the same this week. Generally speaking, I've ended up being trading lighter in the afternoons, heavier in the mornings, lighter in the afternoons, and some afternoons, I think it was a couple of days ago, I made a whopping £100 in an entire afternoon. And but you have to take what the market's willing to give you, and if you're trading. And I've also had a couple of losers in the afternoons, which have only cost £100 or £200. So if the markets are a bit sticky, like they had been in the afternoons sometimes this week, then we seem to have had nicer, clearer markets in the mornings. Then I'll often just downsize dramatically and just say, okay, well, if I can make a couple of £100 or so, or £200 or £300 on a trade, great. But I'm only risking £100 or £200 on a trade, and so that's the philosophy that I've had this week, just purely because of the price action, and that's where it's been. So and of course there's nothing wrong with not trading at all, and I don't know whether I'm going to get a trade yet this morning, but I say that quite often on these video updates, and I still managed to get one. So hopefully, fingers crossed, the markets move enough to warrant identifying a trade. So for now, I shall press pause and we'll come back to this. Well, I'll just come back to this because it's now 8:45 and I'm still sitting here without having taken a single trade. I'm watching the markets and they're rolling over nice. This is the euro yen. Let's go back to the pound. Oh, the pound's sat down. It actually sat still, but it seems to be the euro that's taken a bit of a hammering here this morning. Great momentum to the downside, but the problem that I have is that at the moment this is the hourly chart, so it's having a nice flush down, as you can see here. I can't get in on it because overall trend is up, momentum is down, and I'm just struggling to try and find a place to get in because of the what you end up doing is having support getting in the way all of the time because you've got rising support coming up to meet the price action. So I'm just leaving it alone here this morning so far, and I'm sitting here twiddling my thumbs thinking, where am I going to find a trade? Because I've got momentum down, which is great, but trends up. Let's have a quick look at the 15-minute time frame. Okay, maybe I'll have a trade against the 15-minute bands. There we go. So we may get a trade against the 15-minute bands. So I shall keep my eye on that, and hopefully it's now, like I said, just 8:47 a.m. and if this can maybe set up prior to me going out, then great, then I'll be able to take a trade there. So I'll press pause again for now. Okay, it's coming up to towards 10 to 10. I'm supposed to be leaving sort of 10. I can get away with leaving at 10:15, but I do have to fill up with petrol on before I leave as well. So I really wanted to aim to leave at just after 10 o'clock, and I'm fast running out of time. However, there's a trade potentially coming up here on this euro dollar. It's had this nice flush down. I'm looking for it to come up into the band, and so it could come a little bit higher up into the upper 80s actually. So I can see this is this zone that I'm looking at, this price zone here, that I'm really looking at to see if we're going to get something in. So I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm not going to be able to do a live trade here by looks of things as such, but I can see we're coming up towards the bands, but I've got a feeling we might want to overrun that side here. This is the 15-minute chart. Let's have a look at the 30-minute chart. That would be better. Maybe come up to the 30-minute band, because I'm looking for that upper 80s zone, because that also comes in with towards the hourly 50 up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some limit orders in, and you're going to then see whether my trades set up, and whether secondly they're going to work out for me. So let's put some full trades in. So let's go into the orders. 150,000 sell limit, yeah, that's correct, and I want to put a sell limit in at 85, so we'll put one in at 85, 130 85 0, and then we want to take profit, yes, we want to stop in, yeah, so better put that in not as a percentage, we want to put it at a price level. So we're going to put our stops in. If I'm at 85, I'm going to give it to 05. I'll give it 20 points, 131.050, and we'll have a limit or level as well. in price. So if I get in at 85, I'm going to take that one at 70. 130, 70. Okay, so that's the first one. Yep, it's now confirmed that. There you go. Order was placed. So that's one order in. Then I want to put one in at around about 90 by looks of things. So let's get one in at 90 as well. Sell limit 131. So I'm just having a double check, making sure, yeah, my other orders are correct. Oops. Okay. 130, 90, and we want to put that one again. Sell limit 130.90, and we don't want to do it percentage. We want to do it price. So again, the stop on that one 131.050. So that one's only 15 pips from there. And again, limit order on this occasion. I don't want to have a limit order. I just want to see if we can get a runner. And let's have a look, see if there's any other levels. Actually, we've got yesterday's lows down at 43, so let's put that one in down there. Let's put that one in. So that'd be a nice run. 130. I'll put it in at about, well, 43 is the absolute low, so we'll put it in at about 48.0. That's that one done. And I think I'll put another one in at 90. Put two in, so I'll put three in overall. So let's do that. 130.90, and do the same thing again. 131.050. And actually, what we'll do with this one, we will just let this one and just see, rather than putting a limit order in to take profit, just see how it gets on. I'm going to be out for until mid-afternoon, and it's just a case of seeing how this one's going to get the stop in, of course, but just see if it can work out. So I think the stop level is okay. It should be fine, but you never know for 100%. But there we go. Right, that's that one in. Right, so now that's a normal trade ticket. Let's actually bring my account across. And okay, so obviously no trades in there yet today. Oops, what have I done there? I've lost my charts. There's no trades in there. But if we go to the open orders, there we go. So just making sure that you can see all of this. So we've got a limit order, as we can see, or sell at 150,000, so that's 1.5 lots at 130.90, 130.90, and 130.85. And the reason I've put that in at 130.85 is just in case it only gets to 85 and it rolls over, and then I've missed out entirely. So that's why I've put that one in. But otherwise, I'm looking for 90, and who knows what's going to happen. It's always a bit more difficult when you're trying to trade like that, because I'm trying to predict that the market's going to. Let's move that off. That the market's going to go up and then come back down again, and I'm trying to predict where all of that sort of price action can happen. So I'm thinking around about this 90 zone, or 85 to 90 zone, and then hopefully it'll just chop around there without getting towards my stop. Actually, I think the 90s, I'll put my stop up at 131.10 just to give it again 20 points actually. So I'll just adjust those off screen here. Let's just do that. Let's just do it here. I was using 20 pip stops across the board then, and I'm just hopefully giving it enough. Change the order, and now we want to have that stop up at 10, because if it does go that bit higher, it could obviously go up to 10. So I'll put it in at 09, and then same with this one, because if it's 09, that means it has to go to 10 on mine to actually get there. Right, okay, so we're just going to have to wait and see if it happens or not. Right, that's me pretty much done. So we're having this bit of a down day so far here on the euro. As we can see, we need to come back down. This is the daily charts, come back down towards the lower bands here at least. I think going into the early part of next week, I still think that we've possibly got another leg potentially higher yet, not necessarily overall massively higher, but maybe a retracement from this move. I still think that we've got a potential retracement. So if we're looking at what's happened so far, this is the hourly chart, I think that we could still, let's have a look at my recording stuff. Let's bring the pen up. I still think that we could overall end up coming up here, or maybe even marginally higher, before then rolling back over again. So I still see that potential, but for now I've just set these trades up based on the bands and what's going on so far today, where the momentum is, and just seeing if that's if I'm going to get a trade there. Right, I shall leave you to it. Have a fabulous weekend, and be back in touch on Monday.